Instead of actually waiting until I got good at this forward-facing sonar stuff to shoot a video, I decided to film the whole process from initial implementation all the way to the first few days of fishing. So if you're looking for an awesome video with a bunch of fish catches and big fish, right there, check out one of my other videos, because this isn't it. But if you're thinking about getting forward-facing sonar and you're trying to figure out what sort of things you're probably gonna struggle with, okay, I got a new problem. What sort of things you need to know, what you need to do to get it off the ground running and get good at it, then this is in fact the video that you're gonna wanna watch. Before I could take it out of the water, of course, I had to do some rigging at home. So since I got the thing used, there was a lot of stuff I had to get. The things that I came with was an Ethernet cord, a Brew City pole, and basically half of a power cord. That was kind of the key there. I had to figure out what kind of power cord to get the other half to rig it to the battery. Turns out it's the PC13 power cord from Humminbird. I don't know why that was so difficult for me to figure out, but if you need any Mega Live accessories, any kind of power cord, it's a PC13. And the other stuff that I needed, of course, I needed a battery. I got an Amped Outdoors 20 amp hour battery to hook the thing up to. I then had to get the Brew City base for the pole to go into on the side of the boat. And in order to get the Brew City base on the side of the boat, I needed a Cisco 42-degree track adapter, since the back of my fiberglass Pro V is a 42-degree, not a vertical 90-degree mount. If I want it up in the front and the bow though, I can get the 90-degree. And of course, to see something, you need a graph. So I found a used Helix 9. It needs to be at least Gen 3 or higher in order for the Mega Live to work. So luckily this one was a Gen 3 and that works great. Then in order to mount the graph, I was cobbling together some RAM rod holder stuff. So basically I got a ball adapter, and this is all C-size stuff. And then you got the graph mount piece. And I was gonna put a rod extension in there, but it turned out that thing was just way too wobbly. So currently I'm just putting the graph mount base into the rod holder. I got different plans for the future. And there's some other things that I had to do once I had all the stuff. One, I needed to get the connectors for wiring to the battery. I'm not super great with electrical stuff, but I learned a lot of things along the way, got that stuff wired up. And then I had to splice in some fuses, because this is basically like an ice kit. If I were wiring it through my boat, the boat obviously has a fuse box. In this case, I'm not, so I can take it out of the boat and use it for ice fishing. Then once we had everything wired together, I tested it in the shop by putting a little water bucket underneath there to get the transducer in some water and turn the thing on. And basically it identifies the Mega Live as an accessory right away, and then the screens become immediately available, all of the views. So that stuff was pretty seamless, really. And then there's different clicks that you can turn that transducer to. If it's straight down, obviously it's down mode. If you click it forward a few degrees, it's forward. And if you want landscape, you click it further forward and roll it out to the side. And then you can change the view accordingly on the Helix, or you can have it on auto, and then the Helix recognizes which position it's in and knows what screen it's supposed to use. So after that, everything was good to go, and I was ready to hit the water and do some fishing. That looks like some fish swimming in the weeds. Let's try to catch him. Only 20 feet away from me, huh? We'll just toss the swim bait out there quick. Just like one little patch of weeds there. With a few fish that have been in the area. 25 feet back. I do have a Mega Live that I've cobbled together. I used one. It's functional. Oh, there's a fish out there. Oh, he bit it, I think. And I've experimented with it a little bit. I've experimented with it a lot more in other people's boats. So I have to give some credit here to my buddy Crappie T for teaching me a lot about how to use it, how to read the marks, the behaviors of different fish, figuring out what's a walleye, what's junk fish. There's a high flyer moving around a bunch right under the boat. That's probably a carp or a drum or a smallmouth, some kind of non-walleye. The walleyes I found tend to be very, not necessarily stationary, but they don't do a lot of up and down movement in the water column. Walleyes will suspend, but they don't go to the surface, back down, that kind of stuff. A lot the last time, oh, that's a smallmouth, and he took it. I was out with Crappie T. Now you can see him on the Mega Live. He was trying to look for some bigger marks, because that's what he does when he fishes tournaments, obviously, is look for big walleye marks. And we were able to land a few big ones by just tossing a jig and a night crawler out and watching it go down on the sonar, seeing if they would. Oh, we broke my line on the side of the boat. Looks like we got a few targets hanging off the end of this point. Right there. Straight ahead of the boat now. That looks like a school of fairly small walleyes. Oh, there's a bite right there. Got him. Gotcha. Doesn't feel like a terrible fish. Oh, flipped right off the side of the boat. First cast though. Find a pot of 5 or 6, drop in there, and they just take. Fly buzzing in my ear. Some kind of bug. Get away. All right, fish, where'd you go? You are right there. 50 feet out, still ahead of the boat. How do I keep getting him ahead of the boat? What is this bug doing? Go away. Go away. Leave me alone. Going freaking crazy here. Inside the fish. Let's go. Jeez. Seriously, this bug. Okay, look at that on the graph. Still ahead of me. One fish out here. Holy cow, look at the fish down there though. This bug is driving me crazy. Oh, I knocked him down. Is it a B? He's in the water now. Okay. No longer a problem. Find. Oh, goodness. 40 feet out. Look at those fish. That is a stack of them sitting down off that ledge. That wind just keeps liking to sling my boat in the wrong direction. Let's get on the other side of these fish. Logistical problems to this stuff sometimes. If I was just trying to catch fish, this would be a lot easier. I want to catch them off the Mega Live on camera. Totally different ball game. So the fish are on my left side now. I haven't gotten it to see my jig very well yet though. That's been the one bummer of this. The graph update didn't seem to help enough. Kind of ahead of the boat now. This takes some learning here. Oh, now I see him on 2D. 11, 18. I think there's fish down there. That school at 30 feet definitely looks like 12, 14 inches, and the ones right under the boat to 10 feet look bigger. I'm not seeing a lot of reaction, but they're very tight to bottom for one thing. God, I want to be able to track that jig. Let's try a jigging wrap on the closer one. Maybe the jigging wrap will show up on the screen. Can't say that I'm seeing anything. There he is. No, it's a stick. It's not even a fish at all. First Mega Live experience. Going so fantastically well. There's a little splash there, so I know I got my distance right. You can see the splash at the top of the screen anyway. But it's not tracking the jig down there. They just don't care. Wow, this is an exercise in how not to catch walleyes. Must have spooked that school off when we caught one. Quit choking yourself, trolling motor. Why do you do this? Now we're getting wind out of a totally different direction. Mother Nature just doesn't want me to make this video today. That's the conclusion I've come to. There's a bite right there. Oh, geez, my hand slipped off the reel and I didn't stay tight on him. We will get this. This is gonna work. I definitely wish I could see my jig on here better, because that's the real benefit to this, is being able to see exactly where your cast went. Watch the fish react to your cast on the way down. Then you know they engage, and then if they engage, well, now I can spend some time just working them. It's worth hanging out down there forever. Now we got some fish over there. Oh, what was that? A pike, presumably? Oh my gosh. Trials and tribulations today, my goodness. This has been a little bit of a gong show today. All right, we're gonna try this forward-facing sonar thing again. I think we dialed in a few things after that first day debacle. And we got a little event in town, national walleye tour thing, no big deal. So I'm trying to find a spot to get a little out of the way of the craziness, just find a few fish, try to make this thing work. And on the way, I did happen to run into probably my favorite walleye fisherman, Mr. John Hoyer, launching this morning. So that was pretty cool. If you happen to watch this, John, just remember, day 2 with forward-facing sonar. I'm a newbie. Don't be too hard on me. We'll try to figure something out. So when I said that I had some things dialed in, naturally you're probably wondering, well, Brett, what did you do? What did you dial in? Well, first of all, I have not yet dialed in where I'm going to put my graph. For now, it's just in a rod holder. I've tried some different things. I thought about getting this mount. Well, I ordered a mount from TH Marine, and I think it would have worked okay, but it wasn't quite as quick and easy to move and take that arm off as I thought it was going to be, and fold it down here for safe running in rough water. Clean the screen off for you. So I returned that thing, and now I'm going to test out something from a company called Yak Attack, which primarily makes stuff for kayaks, but they have some adapters for Lund boats as well to put it in my sport track. So I'm going to give that a shot here. More specifically to the Mega Live. I did the graph update, but I hadn't done, because I didn't realize you had to do a transducer update. Once I did that, I was able to see and track the jig a lot better. And then I also learned I had the sensitivity cranked way up, which I knew I would likely need to do. But you also want to have the contrast down a little bit for helping jig tracking, as well as also creating some separation with the fish. Otherwise, everything has kind of a strong return, and the fish just kind of blend into the bottom. They start to look like bumps, like rocks or weeds, and you don't really know if it's a fish. So I turn the contrast down to like 4 or 5. And then there's also this thing called auto contrast, which you don't want on high. You either want it on balanced or maybe even low at times. So those were the adjustments that I made. And I took it out last night. Was able to track my jig much better. Was able to see some fish on the graph. So what we're going to do today is just get out of the way of the tournament chaos. Find some fish. I'm starting in the weeds. I'm going to try some weed fish. And then I'm going to try some structure fish, some points, some humps. See if we can make some direct casts on the fish. See the jig on the screen. Watch it go down, because you can watch how those fish react, especially on that first initial drop, to know if they're going to engage. And that is one of the super helpful things about this, is watching that first drop and watching the fish react to it and go down to it or come up to meet it. Oh, so much fun. And then I got this little thing to cover that with a little bit of padding in there from Net Buddy. Bought it at Shields, 20 bucks. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Although the one thing that is a little bit annoying is now that I did that graph update, what's going on here? Or that firmware update, I'm getting like interference with my other transducers. So there's this little sonic sonar wave that goes across the screen all the time. I'll have to figure that out too later. But you can still see the fish on it. It's just a minor annoyance. So find some fish, figure something out. Hopefully catch a few. Back in a minute. Okay, I got a new problem. I don't know why this is, but it seems to be reading everything like it's falling off a cliff, and it shows the angle. Like, watch my jig falling slightly sideways. I don't understand what that is. If I throw it close, I can at least see the jig, but you can see how it goes out like it's falling diagonally. Strangest thing ever. Well, I called my buddy, Mr. Ripalip, Asked him if he'd ever seen that problem before, and he recommended not only turning the graph on and off, but unplugging all the wires. And look at this. All I did was unplug the wires and plug them back in, and now it seems to work. There was a big high flying mark at like 40 feet there. Could be a carp, could be a suspended walleye. That'd be the kind of stuff you'd look for a big glowing suspended walleye at 40 feet right now. I'm guessing these are carp. But if you saw one of those not moving around much, that would get my attention. Oh, at least this thing works now. I'm so happy. 30 feet, that could even be a smallie there. See if I can actually get a cast on it. It's pretty close. Came up to look at it. I'm reeling in now. So it's not a carp, I don't think. He's still chasing it. Look at that. I'll let it drop. Oh, he didn't like the drop. That sure is fun to watch fish react to this stuff, though. Holy cow. Now there's a good mark on the bottom at 40 some feet. Something out at 60. Let's see if I can hit that mark right there at 30. Is he going to stay in the screen or not? How close did we get? I don't see the splash trail. There it is. Looks like he came out to meet it. What is he? Will he bite a plastic? So yeah, that one at 40 feet, that thing's moving all over the place. That's probably a carp. Those big walleyes are usually a little more stationary than that. And that makes sense to me. Like, that's what I see on my graph too. Every once in a while you see these streaks on your 2D where there's fish just up and down and up and down. Always carp or smallmouth bass. Walleyes don't do a whole bunch of that. What's that out at 60? Whatever it is, I got it. Hit it right on the drop. I don't know if that showed up on the Mega Live or not, but it is in fact a goldeye. Not what we're looking for. Okay. We got things working. Let's see if we can go move spots, hunt down some walleyes. It's a weird weather today. What's the old Omnia show? We got some weird pressure stuff going on. Instant waypoint drop. Got it. Okay. Conditions. Loading. Cloud cover 60%. Got a little wind. Pressure 29.86. Ooh. Waning crescent 15%. In case you watch the map for the moon phase stuff. Interesting. Got a couple stationary fish there, 20 some feet. Any reaction? Nope. Went right down through him. Now he's going down to it. That might be a walleye. Whatever it is, I got him. That's a white bass. Now we know what white bass also look like on Mega Live. If I turn my transducer off, that solar beam would probably go away, but we're gonna roll with it. I don't see anything better than a white bass yet that I can tell. Moving on. It's starting to rain. That's not helpful. There must be somebody that really doesn't want me to make this video. Let's move spots and see if it stops raining. There's a healthy pot of walleyes. If I can dial them in. Right there. Boat keeps spinning. The wind's being a pain. This gets quite tougher when fish decide to move. That interference is starting to be a big problem over there. I think I found a little better pot of fish. that might stick around for a little while for us. They're pretty tight to bottom though, as you can see when you see them. That one right there. They were really tight on the graph too. What that? Dropping right on it. See if we get a reaction. Not much. Boy, that wind just keeps switching on me, moving the boat around. I need a consistent wind here to make this work. You're killing me, Smalls. There's a bite. Another bite, let go. You finicky little fish. All right. There's our fish. Dropping down close to that one. There he's coming to look at it. Look at that. Nice. Is he gonna bite? He sure took a peek at it. Just makes you want to get out the bottom bouncers and just catch fish. Looks like a decent fish out there at 70. Let's just try a long cast, huh? See if we hit it. Hard to tell with all that echo. Because the whole thing I want to know is like, did I hit the mark? And then does the fish react to it on the drop? That's where this is all effective. Otherwise, you could just troll bouncers through here and catch fish. But there can be an advantage of just putting it right on their face. It's too far out. I couldn't see if I got a reaction from them. Drop down on a few of them here. That one's chasing fast. Is he going to bite? Not so much a biter. Coming up to meet it. Down they go. There's a bite. Give him some slack, reel down. Oh, he broke me off. What else? Okay. All right, went to the 1/8 ounce jig since it's sitting right here and it's not something I have to retie. Mountain of fish all over it. There's a little bite. By little, I mean little. But we caught whatever it is, and it just came off. They're out there at 30, 40 feet. Might have to retie that quarter again. That was a lot easier to control into the wind. There's a nicer mark at 50 feet though. I want to try quick. I don't like doing this with wind so much. Swarming it. And then not biting it. What do you got to do to get a bite here today? That one's coming in fast from the right. Whatever that fish is. Bite and let go. All right, we're really good at this game. I'm aware of that. We know how to grab it and let go. Well, that smallmouth just stole it on the way up. 60 feet back, jeez. Bite. Got him. Stay on. Stay on. Is it maybe the elusive Mega Live walleye? Oh my goodness. He's a big one. 60 feet behind the boat. I've caught so many walleyes in my life on this lake, and it has rarely ever been so hard as when trying to do it filming on Mega Live. This is not as easy as it seems. But we got a bunch more of them coming closer to the boat. Which way are they going? That way. Whew. Let's just reel up and throw back and make sure we're right in the middle of that. Now they're moving again. I am learning how much fish like to move on this lake for sure. Kind of knew that, but now I really know that. It's a lot. It is hard to stay on them with this. Going down to the bait. At least you have that attractor where if you get the cast on the money, the fish will eventually swim around back to it if they're interested. So if you got them off screen and you're missing them, and your cast is good, ooh, bite and let go. Got him that time. Feels like another willy. Oh yeah. Now we're doing it. 2 in a row, baby. Let's do it again. Reload the night crawler. Just a good little halfer. I think my problem is I was just trying to find fish of any kind, and I'm finding fish that are a little too small. Makes it a little harder to hook up and a little harder to keep them on. Lots of funny bites. But you know what? It's our first time doing this. There'll be more to come. God, there's a lot of fish there. Now they're over there. Just keep chasing them. And I wonder how much they don't really like being pinged by this sonar. If that's why they're moving, or if it's because they're being caught, or if it's just because that's what they do. They're chasing bait fish. I don't know. They're interested every single time the thing drops. They don't always bite it. Till now. Oh, that was a goldeye. Good to know. Back down he goes. We tracked him all the way down to the bottom. Future videos will have to do some identification of larger marks. All right, I think we know how this works well enough. Let's try to find some better fish. Maybe those right there. 30 foot out. I don't think they're a lot bigger. They're not tournament winners. But they might be bigger than what we've been catching. Or not. Or not. It's always possible they're not. It's a big rocky hump, so there's going to be smallies. Trying to stay off of them and find what I think are the walleyes in the group. Right there. Those look like eater walleyes of some size in fairly good numbers, meaning like 20 of them. There's just so many small fish on this part of the lake that I decided to fish, which is great for screen activity, but for catching fish, this is not my normal area. This is like our 5th spot where we've been able to find just piles of marks, but they're mostly so tiny. Here's to hoping maybe some of these are just a little bigger than the last spot. There's a bite. Can this fish eat it? No. When you find numbers today, you don't find any size at all. Just sheer volume of these guys. They're just thick down there. Healthy future. Oh mama, look at all those over there. None of them are going to be able to stay on this hook, more than likely. Is he going to get it? Kind of doubt it. Oh, we got him. Is he a little bigger? He might be just a little bigger because he's a smallmouth. All right, well, that concludes my Mega Live test and introduction video. Ouch! We have a better idea how this thing functions, and we'll get ourselves in the midst of some bigger fish next time around. Thanks for watching. Later, fisher people.